This is Major Rudy Recile, and he's about to go live with me on KAHI. You're going to love what this guy does and what he has to say. And he's running for Congress. So I want you to meet him. I want you to get to know him. Thanks for tuning in. Share this after we do this broadcast here, would you? All right, stand by. Here we go. That's danceable. That's danceable music. You know, I don't know of any other talk show host that actually has something like this coming out of commercial breaks and so on. They always have what's called bumper music, and they always try and outcool each other. Oh, that's a cool rad. Oh, he played AC/DC. Oh, that's so cool. LL Cool J, whatever it is. I don't know. They're always trying to go outdo each other, how cool they are with their musical taste. What, are you serious? Give me Texas Swing. Come on, buddy.
It's way better than that.
All right, that's it. 4:32 now, 28 minutes away from 5 o'clock. I'm Charlie Simons. Happy day before Thanksgiving, and it's beautiful outside. What a clear, awesome day. 61 degrees right now. Already starting to get dark. And sitting in studio right now with me, and if you're on my Facebook page, you can watch us do our thing live. This is Army Major retired Rudy Recile, and I like Rudy. I met him at an event in Yolo County. It was a GOP thing there, a couple of guest speakers, and once I heard you do your thing and give your spiel, I went, oh man, this is exactly who we need in our government. I don't care if it's city, state, county, federal. These are the kind of people we need. We need leaders who are trained in other things than just being an attorney and a politician. We got enough of those. We need leaders, especially if I'm a little partial, an Army major. As a public affairs officer for my unit, Joint Training Command in CalGuard, I got to sit in on officers' candidate school.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Because I'm chronicling it. I'm taking photos and I'm taking video and everything of what it's like to go through officer candidate school. I'm telling you what, buddy. I want to be a sergeant. I don't know.
It's tough stuff.
You guys are crazy. I don't know why you want to do that, but I'm glad you do. And it gave me a whole new respect for officers, above and beyond anything that I ever had before. So,
you know what's funny though, is that at the end of the day, when we all retire, we're all the same. We get the same blue card. We're just soldiers.
Yeah. Oh no. Amen. I agree. But I'm just saying that the level of training, what you go through to actually become an officer is quite extensive. So they earn their stripes, as they say. Well, you know where they have stripes. That'd be something.
But if it wasn't for the NCOs, we wouldn't be in it.
Now, see, that's a great officer thing to say right there. What a great officer thing to say.
They're the ones who train us. I mean, they're the ones who beat me on the head and make sure that I'm not doing something stupid.
That's right. It's all for your good. It's all for your own good. This Rudy Recile, by the way, he's running for Congress in the 3rd District?
In the 3rd District.
Which is where? Explain.
It's a Solano County, so it's Solano, Yolo, Colusa, Sutter, Glen, Lake, and Yuba.
Yep. Okay.
That's just for now. After January, that's going to change.
Because of all the gerrymandering going on, right?
I don't know. We don't want to get into gerrymandering. We're allowing the people to make the decision.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, they put in they're getting everybody to put in their decisions of what they want. And people are actually voting on it.
You think so? You think you're telling me that it's all on the up and up now all of a sudden?
Well, it's not.
Even though it's never really been before?
It's politics. So they're doing the best.
And who runs the state, by the way?
Democrats.
Okay, thank you.
I'm trying to put some faith back in the system because we have to have faith in the system.
I'll tell you what.
If we don't have faith in the system, just like Cody was saying, you got to get out there and vote. Got to get out there and vote.
Amen.
If we don't get out there and vote, we can't regain the system.
Amen.
So we got to have some trust in it as much as we can. I'm not saying that it's all good. Trust me, there's plenty of shenanigans.
Yeah.
You know that as well as I do. Yeah. A lot of shenanigans, especially in the last recall election. How many ballots did you get?
I have a friend who got 5.
Oh, yeah.
I know somebody who got 5. I only got 1.
I got 3.
But I know a whole bunch of people who showed up to vote that day because they didn't trust the mail-in, showed up that day and were turned away. Were not allowed to vote because they said, oh, you already voted. What? What? No, I didn't.
And that's against the law.
Oh, yeah, you did. It shows here you already did.
Yep.
Well, but I didn't. It's not me. I want to vote in. Nope.
Well, they're supposed to allow them to vote provisionally.
That's what I thought.
They were supposed to allow them to vote provisionally right on the spot. And you know the funny part about provisional ballots? You got to show an ID.
That's so true. Oh, that's
you got to show an ID. But you know what? Nowadays, everybody has an ID.
Really?
Yeah, all those people that got the shot, they got the jab.
Yeah.
Now they can show their.
That's another double standard. That's interesting you bring that up because I'll never forget. Of course, the argument against requiring an ID to vote is that it's racist. Because for some reason, people of color seem to be incapable or unable to actually figure out how to go down to the DMV and get their driver's license or ID card.
Yeah.
It's racist.
Well, Amy Horowitz did.
I'm like, yeah, what? And then this whole thing came out about the vaccine card and everything. Well, you got to have this. Well, wait a minute. How come people of color are all suddenly able to get their ID to show this to get their vaccine card so they can fly or do whatever else they need to do? Go into your store to smash and grab, whatever it is they're going to do. I don't know.
Oh, that's funny. Could you imagine you go in to do smash and grab? You have to show your ID card first. I got my COVID shot, so.
I can see that.
No, you can't come in here and rob us. You don't have the vaccine. You didn't get the jab.
They stop them after check their vaccine card. Okay, proceed with looting. Oh, I'm sorry, looting is racist. Suddenly that term has been deemed by the media as being racist. Looting! To call them looters is suddenly a racist term. Yeah. I can't keep up with their insanity.
Who can?
I know. So let's get to what you did. Was last night or when did you do this school board meeting thing?
The school board meeting was last week, Tuesday.
Okay, tell me about it.
Yeah, so we. So this is the Vacaville Unified School District, and there was a bunch of parents there, and the number of parents showing up is growing. So obviously there's a lot of concern, and they were concerned about mask mandates. So what I did, I signed up to talk, and there was a teacher who spoke before me, and a bunch of other people spoke before me, and they laid it out for them. Hey, the kids can go outside without the mask, but as soon as they come back in, they got to wear a mask. On rainy days, when it's raining, they have to eat inside without the mask, but then to learn, they got to put the mask back on. See, the mask is the only way you can learn. You have to put the mask on to learn. But if you take the mask off, then you can eat. But to learn, you have to put the mask back on.
If anyone still thinks that this is because they're so interested in your health, then you are really deluded. You are not paying attention. This is all about control. There's some kind of a grooming going on. Right. It feels like to me.
So what I did, I let everybody else that got up, they spurted out the facts. I mean, they laid it out. They had all the facts there. And so I really felt that, why should I reiterate what somebody said? Mm-hmm. They already said it. All I'm going to do is repeat it.
Right. And you only have, 3 minutes?
Right. I got 3 minutes. So I didn't. So what I did was I got up there and I said, thank you very much for allowing me to have this opportunity for a job interview in front of these people. The room was packed. There was at least 50 people. Awesome. So I said, thank you for letting me have this job opportunity, this interview opportunity for this job. And I said, you already got the job. They hired you already. And I was pointing at the school board. And you were hired to take care of our children. Educate them. You're not medical people. You're educators. And you're supposed to educate them. And you're supposed to look out for the best ideals for our children. All those things that are good for our kids. And so consequently, and that's what I told them. And then I went on to read how the California Department of Public Health stated that the local school districts will be responsible for enforcement of the mask mandate. So that means that it's up to the schools. So we're not going to have a bunch of brown shirts come down and go goose-stepping through hallways, looking indoors, saying, you're not wearing a mask. You're not wearing a mask.
When that first came down, everybody was all encouraged. Oh, good. Well, the school districts, at least in counties that have some common sense, like Placer, that they won't be doing this madness. But no, they have been doing this madness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I told
even though they don't have to, they've been doing it. Now, that should tell you everything. It's teachers' unions that are really controlling this show.
Right. So after I read that, and I read about N95 masks right quick, and then I told them at the end, they hired you. The people hired you. The people of the city of Vacaville hired you to do this job. And if our employees aren't doing the job we want, then we're going to go looking for new employees. And I'm investigating now the process to start a recall. And that's how I ended my speech.
Dude, that's awesome.
And I just walked off, and the room just erupted.
I'll bet they did. I sure would have. Let me ask you, though, about the school board. Did you happen to notice what was their response? Did they look away? Did they not even look at you?
Oh, no, they were looking right at me because the podium was right there. Mm-hmm. And as I was talking, one of the guys was sitting back. And as soon as I said recall, he sat up.
Leaned forward, did he?
He sat up. And at that point, it was like mic drop. I walked off.
Mic drop.
So I was just like, there was nothing more to say after that. I mean, what are you going to go on about, this is what the recall is going to be? No. If we don't have employees that are doing it, I mean, just like any job, right?
Yeah.
A guy was telling me last night when I was bowling, he's a warehouse supervisor for many, many years, and he had an employee who decides to show up when he wants or sitting there on his phone the whole time, right? And he told him, is your job more important than what's on your phone? And the guy was just kind of looked at him with stunned silence. And he goes, if it is, then you can leave, And the guy got upset, and he actually turned in his badge, turned in his ID and everything, and quit right on the spot.
Now, is he able to turn right around and claim unemployment or something like that?
No, because he quits.
Because he quit.
You have to get fired. That's my understanding. You have to get fired in order to claim unemployment. So he voluntarily left his job. Because the guy told him, look, I can go out on the street and find 10 other guys that do exactly what you're doing for $22 an hour.
Yeah, well, 22 an hour is pretty good.
Yeah, 22 an hour is really pretty good. So, well, hey, I mean, about dumb as a box of rocks, that's almost 40K a year.
Yeah,
You know,
that's right.
so
What was the job? What was it?
it was warehouse, just
Warehouse stuff.
working in the warehouse. Making sure everything works right and making sure that the supplies are coming in and going
That was
out.
always a minimum wage job. I know because I done it.
Oh, it's government.
Oh, this government. So this dude literally walked away from the government health care and the government. I mean, there was
All
a
the
contract.
benefits. He was working there for 11 months. And because dude took an hour and a half lunch, and the boss told him, "You owe me a half hour." Okay, because they gave him an hour. You owe me a half hour. And the guy was like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, 8 hours of work for 8 hours of pay.
Yeah.
If you're you're not gonna work 7.5 hours and get 8 hours worth of pay.
Right.
So, what are you gonna do? You got to work the extra half hour." And the guy, he just got all bent around the axle. So, I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, but with the school board, bottom line up front is one of the things on my platform, big on my platform, there's a lot of, across the country, there's a lot of people that are upset about the mask mandates, and what's going on. And
Mainly because of the obvious overreach and anyone who's actually done any kind of investigating. And if you are going to, by the way, if you are going to look up anything, don't do it through Google. You're not going to find actual real facts on Google. I'm telling you right now. So in your URL up top, when you're looking for any kind of website, even if you're on Google.
You mean like me, Rudy4USCongress.com? You can always go to Rudy4FORUSCongress.com. And you know what? At that particular website,
let's
you
say
can actually donate.
You can donate there too,
Yeah,
can you? Wow. Rudy4USCongress.com. Okay, let's use that. But before you go to Rudy4USCongress.com,
that's FOR.
FOR. Go to DuckDuckGo. Put DuckDuckGo.com, enter. It will take you right to that search engine, and then you will not be tracked anymore, and they will not be shadow banning or limiting what you can look up. Trust me on this. If you listen to nothing else today, let that be the best advice I could ever give you. Don't look up anything if you want to get the truth through Google.
Yeah, if you want to see how strange it is,
you won't get it anymore.
Go to Google, do one search, and then come back and do the exact same search on DuckDuckGo.
Yep.
And you're going to see a total different world of results.
Yeah, including you.
Yeah.
When I first tried to look you up on Google, remember I told you that.
Yeah.
And then I went to DuckDuckGo, and there you were, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all on the first page. On Google, you didn't show up until page 3.
Oh, wow.
And then it was down at the bottom.
Yeah, I bet you found a lot of recipes.
Recipes. No.
Yeah. But all you got to do is go to Rudy, RUDYFORUSCongress.com. And, I'm not Michael Bloomberg. I'm not Ross Perot.
You're not. You can't fund your own campaign.
I'm funding this right out of my
pocket. For heaven's sake, you're military retired, so yeah, I know you're not wealthy.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, I checked my campaign account the other day, and it was like at $116. People are just like, "Man, you must have a ton of money." I'm like, "Nope, I had $116. It's back up to like 600 now, but yeah, because I got a lot of faithful people that.
Who are you running against, by the way? Who's going to be your main opponent? What kind of money do they have?
Well, the big money winner right now is Tamika Hamilton. She's raising Tamika. Yeah, she's raising a ton of money. A lot of it from outside resources, outside the state. And then there's Jason Paletta. He's running also, and then Monica London is also running. So, but
you're the unknown here,
right? Well, I'm hoping to be the New Jersey trucker. If I can do for $5,000, that would be awesome. Especially if I ended up going up against Garamendi, who's deep in with the unions. And actually, he's just got name recognition. He's a wicked man. Yeah. But if I can do it.
It's time for him to change the oil in his hair. He looks so oily.
Yeah. And
Brill cream? Seriously? That was my dad.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's 4:47. This is Rudy Recile. He's running for U.S. Congress District 3, and he's my guest here this afternoon on the day before Thanksgiving on KAHI 104.5 FM and AM 950, Voice of the Foothills. Barry Steiger's up next with local news, and then we got California headline news, traffic, and weather all coming up next.
Cooler weather and class.
Good thing I wasn't actually on the air with my microphone on when I was saying all that. Man, what is wrong with it? Did I already start hitting the cooking, Sherry? For heaven's sake, Thanksgiving hasn't even begun yet. It's 5:05. Hit it.
I love hearing this music when it comes up.
What?
I love hearing this music as you come up and you're queuing up.
You like
the
this?
next segment?
I'm glad to hear that.
It's good stuff.
I love this. I am Charlie Simons. That voice you're hearing there next to me, and actually, well, it's all come from the same place for you. His name is Rudy Recile, spelled R-E-C-I-L-E. So I'm sure everybody goes, Recile?
Recile, I got that too.
Recile.
Yeah.
Recile. Major Rudy Recile, U.S. Army retired. Hello, sir. Thank you for being here.
Oh, it's good to be here.
I normally have, guests like 25 activists, kind of like my interview place, 425 and 525.
Mm-hmm.
But what the heck? You're sitting here right now. I'll just have you come on along for the ride.
Sure, why not?
It's the day before Thanksgiving. Our listenership's probably, I have 2 listeners every day, and I'd imagine one's probably traveling right now. So that's it. It's just one. So
today you got a bunch more.
Thank you.
Because we're live.
We're live on Facebook on your page, which is what, by the way? Let's look you up right now on Facebook.
You can look me up at Rudy for Congress, RUDYFOR Congress. You can find me there. Just look up
on
Rudy
Facebook.
Recile. Yeah, on Facebook. Yeah. If you look up Rudy Recile, R-E-C-I-L-E, you can find me on Facebook. And if you can't find it there, you can always go to my website at rudy4foruscongress.com, and you can find the Facebook link there.
Don't forget the U.S. Congress.
Yeah, it's
I know, because I made that mistake.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm a Rudy for Congress. Nope, didn't do nope. And so I finally went, U.S.
You found that guy in Idaho.
Found
something
that guy.
like that.
Found that guy. That's right.
Yeah.
You're right. I think it was.
Yeah, but at that website you can also donate, because just remember, I'm not a rich man. I'm not Ross Perot or Michael Bloomberg, just running this thing out of my pocket.
I hope not, because they're all crazy.
Yeah.
But it's Rudy running for Congress, and that's how I first met him. Was at a Republican event where he was one of the guest speakers. And I went, plus you're military, so props right out of the gate. Where is our president spending Thanksgiving? Do you know where Biden is going to be? He doesn't know where he's going to be, but do you know where Biden's going to be?
His handlers are going to tell him.
His handlers are going to tell him right now. Listen to it. Nantucket.
Did you hear
At his family's, or not his family's, but with his family at a $30 million oceanfront compound owned by a D.C. Beltway billionaire. This comes as Americans are spending large amounts of their paychecks on soaring gas and food prices. And tomorrow, families across the country will be spending 14% more on their Thanksgiving feast compared to last year. We have Fox team coverage on all of this. Wall Street Journal columnist Bill McGurn is here to discuss the president's handling of the economy, but we begin with White House correspondent Jackie Heinrich, who is traveling with the president in Nantucket. Jackie.
Hey, Trace. Good afternoon to you. Well, the same day that President Biden tapped the nation's strategic petroleum reserve, the emergency stockpile for oil, to mitigate these high prices amid crippling inflation, he got aboard Air Force One, headed out to Nantucket to spend the holiday at his billionaire businessman friend's compound. David Rubenstein invited the Biden family to stay at his estate. It's estimated to be worth more than $30 million. The White House did make sure to mention that the president has stayed with Rubenstein before, and for context, presidents have also stayed with wealthy friends over the holidays. President Clinton with a Democratic donor on Martha's Vineyard, just for one example.
Let's pause right there. They have to throw that in, and I don't know why it's even necessary. Because that's when they talk about somebody spending their vacation at wealthy donors' mansions and estates, like this president is. I have a hard time calling him that.
You can always say Mr. Biden.
Clinton did that, excessively did that. Obama did it like crazy. But they never follow up with, who didn't? George Bush, George W. Bush, Ronald Reagan. They had their own ranch. They'd stay at their own ranch. George W. would go to his ranch in Texas all the time.
Trump would go back to his golf course.
That's right. That's right. And Ronald Reagan, he'd go to his ranch out in Santa Barbara if he really wanted to get away and get back in touch. And you got to recharge your heart and your mind sometimes. But I hate that in this Fox News story that they had to make that point. Well, other presidents have done this too. Yeah, a bunch of Democrats have done it. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But critics say this luxurious stay with the economy in such a tough place shows that President Biden's out of touch with the problems facing working class Americans, even as he tries to show them that he relates. The American Farm Bureau Federation found last week the average cost for a Thanksgiving dinner of 10 people reached an all-time
Wait till you hear
high
this
this
quote.
year, up 14% from 2020.
Biden's quote.
Turkey per pound is up nearly 9%.
9%.
Potatoes are up 20%.
20%.
Onions 32%. Cranberries a little over 2%, and lettuce is up nearly 12%.
Moms and dads are worried, asking, will there be enough food we can afford to buy for the holidays? Will we be able to get Christmas presents to the kids on time? And if so, will they cost me an arm and a leg? But families can rest easy.
Well, did you hear that? Well, families can rest easy. Because he said so. So start resting easy. Or we're going to have a talking to with the FBI, and they're going to have to knock on your house, and they have to come in and take all your records and everything to make sure you're not subversive.
Yeah, especially all those parents that end up going to school boards.
What a stupid quote. Did you hear about the teacher
Yeah,
who just got literally raided by the FBI? Not a teacher, I'm sorry, a
was a
mom
mom.
of a student who went to a school board meeting.
Right.
Do you have the details on that?
Yeah, well, basically, she went to a school board meeting. It's been going there on the regular, and they started tagging her as a terrorist, as a subversive type person. And so the FBI has been keeping track. If you haven't been paying attention to the news, they've been tagging parents that are going to these various board meetings. They actually broke into her home. Straight up, barged in. They sacked up. They barged in. And once they got inside there, they not only handcuffed her, they handcuffed her kids and everything. And they questioned her for a long period of time before they left out. It was just
With no arrest.
No arrest.
But they did confiscate a computer. And
Yeah,
things
they
like
said
that.
that they were looking for someone's computer. Whose computer was it?
And Nellie's.
No, it was. I think it was one of the Biden's computers. That's who they were looking for. Yeah.
Oh, well, this ties in. That ties in with it's. I've heard about this. There's another laptop out there that is missing,
Mm-hmm.
and it is his daughter, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So they were looking for hers.
Yeah. So it didn't have anything to do with the school board meeting. Then it had more to do with that. Do you think, or is it just a coincidence?
I think it was a coincidence, but bottom line up front is that they're looking at parents as terrorists, and they're keeping tabs on them, and which is absolutely ridiculous. If you think about it,
It's serious.
yeah. Wow. Well, I figure if they end up busting into my house, they can end up just doing my laundry.
You think they would? That'd be nice. Why doesn't the FBI offer those kind of things? Why doesn't the Department of Justice say, yeah, let us clean up for you a little bit. We just busted down your door and tore everything apart and cut open all your couch cushions. But we're going to, out of the goodness of our hearts, do a little sweeping up here. You got a vacuum handy we can use? We didn't bring one with us. It's 60 degrees right now in Sacramento, and it's going to be a chilly night. Get it down to, not freezing, but down to about 38 degrees. Yeah, is that really cold? 52 degrees right now in Auburn, outside our studios at the State Theater at the Mighty Mighty KAHI, 104.5 FM, AM 950, the voice of the foothills, and Rudy Recile, my guest here. He's running for Congress, so I just figured it'd be good to get to know him a little bit. I think you'll like him. I think you'll hear what he has to say, because I know I did. So I want to introduce him to you. Barry Steiger's up next with local news. We also have Fox Business Report on the way, traffic, and extended weather forecast. See what our Thanksgiving is going to be like tomorrow.
Auburn Honda.
You're welcome. Thank you for listening. I'll say the same thing to you. 521. I'm Charlie Simons, and this is the voice of the foothills you're listening to, 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI, KAHI.com. Got family visiting? And you don't want to miss Sinatra and Friends, because they're going to be playing Christmas music and everything starting tomorrow. Actually, tonight at midnight it starts. And you can find an app on on our website, KAHI.com, KAHI.com. There's a free app there. Just download it, upload it, whatever it's called, on your smart device, and it's awesome. Whether you have, if you don't have cell, you got Wi-Fi. If you don't have Wi-Fi, you got cell. But you can use this app anywhere.
That's and I can actually hear you down in Solano County.
Yep.
You know, I mean, you're up here in the voice of the foothills and down in Solano County. I just flip on the app and I pick you up down there.
Yeah, it's a good app, huh?
Yeah.
You know what I do during the Placer High Hillman football games? I'm that nerd. I'd be in the stand listening to our play-by-play guys calling the game over the air, over the radio station, while I'm actually sitting in the stands. I'm that guy.
Yeah. I do the same thing with baseball.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, same thing.
Especially if I have announcers who I can't stand, then I'll switch it over to the radio station and then sync it up so that I can watch the game all at the same time.
I know. Yeah, because a lot of times the guys in field don't give you that background information. So I used to love doing that with the A's.
Yeah.
With let's see, Lon Simmons. Oh my goodness, one of the best play-by-plays as far as I'm concerned ever. Remember Lon Simmons?
No, I don't remember.
Bill King. He started off with the Niners and Giants, but he wound up with the A's. I used to listen to those guys all the time. They were so interesting to listen to. Had great facts, funny while you're watching the game. I'm that nerd. I'm that geek.
Way better than ESPN because ESPN's all stats. Yeah,
no personality.
And none whatsoever. They don't talk about the game, like the modern game or just the game or whatever.
Hey, this is Rudy Recile, by the way, that other voice you're hearing here on KAHI. He's my guest this afternoon, and going to be talking with him about something he's very passionate about, and I happen to feel it's a very good idea, too, considering the alternative. That's homeschool. How to do it, how to go about it, what to do. I'll just wait for that discussion. It's coming up here on KAHI. California Headline News also. Fox Business Report coming up next. Going to take a look at the extended weather forecast with our meteorologist, Tim Root. Right now, just in time for your dining and dancing pleasure. What's it like on the roadways, Bob? Oh, shoot, I didn't. Oh, dang it.
Just go live now?
I will, but I'm going to have something over here. I wasn't paying attention. Dang it. See, you're catching all this now. All right, trying to go live on my Facebook page here, Rudy Recile. I messed up. Should have had this done all in advance. Hey, listen, if you want somebody who's professional and actually good at what they do and they plan in advance for things like this, you're going to have to pay a whole lot more money. In the meantime, you got me. I'm Charlie Simons. Howdy. Welcome to the Mighty Mighty KAHI. Final half hour of this big old bad old broadcast. Okay, go ahead. Rudy, tell us about yourself. Okay. And why we should listen to you or vote for you for Congress this coming November. Well, actually, June is the...
Yeah, June 6th. June 5th. June 5th, I think. I believe.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
right,
so...
Take it.
Yeah, the way I started is I'm a retired Army major. I was in for 26 years in the Army. I started out infantry and armor. That's ground pounding and then, and also being in the big monster tanks, the M1 tanks.
Yeah.
So I was in those. That's a whole lot of fun.
Do you got a picture of you with that gigantic helmet on?
Oh, yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. Yeah,
okay,
I got one of them all muddy and nasty. It's all cool. But so I started out in the Army. My last 14 years in the Army, the 26, I was a project manager. Started out in Korea. Actually, started out in logistics. And one of my good friends that I met in logistics, CW5 Youngquist, he's on our Facebook page right now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Give a shout out to him.
Yeah, but you're saying a bunch of stuff that most people are going, what?
Yeah. Well, I ended up going into logistics. And by being in logistics, I really learned how to set up projects and understand the cost of the project and how to make sure that you maximize out the monies that you get for the project, whatever that project was. And so I started that out on a small scale in a company at a battalion level, and a battalion is approximately 500 guys. So I learned how to manage projects in there.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Yeah. Then eventually that started going up higher and higher. I started moving up into different levels within the Army. So eventually I ended up in Korea and got into logistics there. And so instead of doing 500 guys, now you're talking about doing 37,000. So you're doing projects for 37,000 guys all over the peninsula. trying to make sure that they get what they're supposed to do. So I was what they call the wartime host nation support coordinator.
Let me tell you something. Logistically, of course, you have a whole team, though, of course. But when you are assigned, this is your. Well, it starts off with this is your squad. This is your platoon. This is your, and it grows in size and gets bigger and bigger like that. You got to know your stuff.
Yeah.
And not only do you have to be able to coordinate, do you have to be able to think ahead, you have to be able to strategically plan, you have to try and counter whatever you think the enemy might be bringing and be ready for that. Because if you're not ready for that and men die,
yeah. And the cool part about
that's on your conscience. It's got to be.
Oh yeah, the cool part about logistics it's always a real time mission. There's no pretend in logistics. Because if you're out in 29 Palms or if you're down in Fort Irwin, California, it's 115 degrees out in the middle of the desert, and you don't get the water
the dangers
to
are
the
real.
guys.
Dangers are real. Yeah.
You're in a world of hurt.
Right.
They're in a world of hurt.
Right.
Okay, so they've got to have the water, okay, and the food because they've been out there, for however long they've been out there, but it's 115 degrees. When was the last time that they had a drink of water? Right.
Right.
I mean, so every mission is a real world mission. If you don't get it done, people die. And that's the bottom line to it. And that's the cool part about logistics. And so eventually I worked my way up from doing just for the Korean Peninsula, but now I ended up working at the Pentagon and started learning how they actually do the appropriations for the monies for the project. So, and then I went from there working, and I retired, and then I ended up working for the USDA. Now I'm managing data for the entire state of California for all the pest management.
Okay, now, I think you very accurately described the stress that you could be under in those kind of situations. Let me throw something else in the mix. He has to be able to motivate guys like me. He has to. I better be believing in him. I better believe. I better have faith in his decision making because in the military, my life is on the line. So that obviously, but he has to be able to do that as well. That's where I think my own world, my own perfect world, we'd have more military people running the government than lawyers and politicians.
Oh, we got to be careful with some of the military people because
Millie in Austin. Okay, yeah. So anyway, back to actual real world settings.
I think if we had more NCOs running it, it'd probably be a better world.
There you go, buddy. Bring on the sergeants. Exactly. That's right.
Exactly.
So
the big thing is that I've had experience in the swamp. I've been there. I've been in DC. I know how it works there. And the people that I'm running against haven't. They haven't been there. I mean, they're both in the military. So to me, Hamilton and Jason, we're both in the military. As a matter of fact, one of my other good friends who's running, James Bradley, who's running down south against Padilla, he was in the military. And so we got a lot of military people running. But in my district, there were the people I'm running against, they haven't been to DC. So they don't know the operation. You got a friend who's
running against Alex Padilla then? Because I had Cordy Williams on. Mm-hmm. He's Marine, retired Marine.
Right.
He's running for
look at all these military people stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, thank God.
They're stepping up. Stepping up. I mean, that's that selfless service.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they joined. They wanted to serve their country. They wanted to serve their fellow man. And that was one of the things that got me when I started seeing all the shenanigans. I'm like, I can't let this go on. I've got 31 years of experience in the government. I mean, understanding what the presidential budget is, how that cycle works, how the monies get appropriated, and the spending of the money and following the money. And that's one of my platform items, is government accountability. Accountability for the government to know where our monies are.
But that's boring. That's not exciting.
But you know what, though? It takes nerds like me who like that stuff to make sure that our government is running properly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't got the bean,
I'm talking about though from the media side of things, and from most people, it's like, oh, that's boring. It's not exciting. I don't know. I don't get energized. I don't have the right feelings. It's all about feelings.
Well, yeah. Well, they'll be really interested when China decides to send one of their hypersonic missiles that takes out an aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
Where are we going to get the money for that?
How do you feel about that now?
Exactly.
How did that hurt your feelings? Well, I think it's great, and I'm glad you're running, and may God bless you in this campaign, and I hope you win.
I hope I win too.
I wish I lived in that county or one of those counties just so I could vote for you.
No, I can be like that New Jersey trucker.
That New Jersey trucker, I know.
$5,000.
Trucker Durr. Yeah. So let's talk about one thing that you're passionate about. You actually went to a school board meeting last week, and in case you missed it last hour, he got to address the school board. For 3 minutes, he got 3 minutes, and he literally had a mic drop moment. Boom, and the whole room erupts. And you said it was like standing room only.
Yeah.
So thank God parents are fine showing up, and they're not getting afraid because of this whole FBI thing.
Oh yeah.
I was afraid that they were going to stop coming because they were afraid.
Right.
So I was afraid there's no reason for me to be afraid because they're not afraid.
Yeah, and there's angry parents all over the place. I mean,
Rightly
it's
so.
really a movement here in California.
Rightly so. Let me tell you what. I can tell you right now, if I had school-age children in my life, they would not be in public education. Now, I can make that statement, but let's talk about homeschooling.
Okay.
Every adult I've ever met who was homeschooled growing up, head and shoulders brilliant above most people that I know. I'm not exaggerating. They're so dang smart. And anytime somebody says, well, they don't know how to handle the real world. Of course they do. Absolutely they do. They're better at it than you are in many ways, I think. They're much more prepared because they spent time focusing on actually learning. And then you take that knowledge, you're going to grow in such a way that you're going to find a way to be able to talk to somebody, even if you're an introvert. That's just kind of how it is.
Homeschoolers are off the charts too when it comes to going to college and all of that.
I know,
SAT,
great,
ACT
everything.
Scores.
Yeah.
They do awesome.
That's been my experience. But what do you say to single parent? What do you say to single mom who has to work and cannot homeschool? What does she do? What does the dad do? Or just a couple that's struggling? They're both, they're not making tremendous amounts of money. They can't afford to keep their kids home. And you still, this is the most irritating thing. Even if you don't put your kids in, you're still paying for it through your property taxes and other taxes to educate your kids, even though you're not using that.
Right. Yeah, you're still paying for it. But if you homeschool, parents can do that. And when you have a group of parents that do it, then they can take turns for homeschooling. Oftentimes there's a lot of school districts that say parents have got to spend X number of hours a week at the school. So obviously they make coordinations with their employer so that they can do that. But instead of doing that, homeschool. So one parent a week takes care of the kids for X number of hours, make sure that they're doing their assignments, make sure they're doing their learning. And the best part about it is California has got the best homeschooling program in the country, believe it or not. And guess whose fault it is? Guess whose fault it is? Well, let's see. Some people that have been homeschooled, let's take a look. Let's see. Venus and Serena Williams.
Oh.
Let's see here. Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez, Taylor Swift, Dakota Fanning, Ryan Gosling. They all sound kind of like familiar people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're Hollywood kids. Right?
Okay, gotcha.
And so Hollywood was very concerned, we got to have the freedom to teach our kids what we need to teach them.
Yeah, well, than that, plus, if you're a celeb, it might be a little tougher on a kid.
Yeah, but the best part about it is because Hollywood fought so hard to have the least restrictive program, that affects every homeschooler. Anybody who homeschools their kids. So
Hollywood, we can thank Hollywood for actually having the more lax homeschooling laws here in California.
Exactly. And the only one that's second to us is Texas. And they only have one requirement, Texas history. Okay.
Smart.
Right. But in California, all you need is an affidavit stating that you want to homeschool. You submit that in, and then you can go, there's multiple ways. You can either, with that affidavit, your own private school, okay? Or you can go underneath an umbrella school, and an umbrella school will take care of all the paperwork for you to be in the school.
Really?
Yeah. And so then...
How much does that cost? Let's say.
Usually it's a small fee that you
coordinate.
So
there are resources. If you're listening right now and you have school-age children, you're involved in school-age children in their lives in some way, I'll bet you've not heard this before, because I hadn't.
Right.
And I'm pro homeschool. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, and you can go. There are resources out there. Publicschoolexit.com. That's one of them.
Whoa, say that again.
publicschoolsexit.com.
Public with an S on the end. Schools.
Yeah, Public Schools Exit. And you can also go. You can also go to the Homeschool Legal Defense Association. You can look them up. It's at HSLDA.
Say that again.
Homeschool Legal Defense Association.
I'm imagining somebody writing this down right now.
Yeah.
I'm saying all this.
So I mean,
Homeschool Legal Defense Association.
Yep, and they take care of all the legal matters. It's a small fee. It's approximately I want to say around $120, but they'll take care of all your legal fees. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, and if they have to come to your defense.
See, I can do that. $120, I can do that.
Yeah, and they've got over 100,000 kids that are in their program for homeschool.
Here's
And
the best part too.
really possible.
I'd imagine if you're in an association like this, when legalities happen, or they're challenging or trying to end it or anything like this, you already have an association behind you that's well versed in all of this and probably has legal representation in some way.
Yeah, they do. And that's so part of my campaign and running for Congress is serving my people. And so one of the things I'm starting up is a 501c3. Got a name for it. Check this out. We're calling it PENS, Parents Education Networks. Oh, PENS. So we could have a PENS organization in Solano. So Penn Solano. We could have Penn Yolo. We could have Penn Vacaville, Penn Fairfield. PENS is what it is. But the whole idea is to help parents homeschool their kids. And when you've got numbers of people that are doing it, then it makes it easier for those parents who can't take time off of work, and those parents who can step up to the plate so that they can help the kids with their assignments and all of that. Yeah. And with the 501c3, a business could donate, and then we can hire a teacher. Okay. Awesome. And then when they donate, because it's a 501c3, they get the tax write-off.
Is this a good thing to go ahead and start? I mean, you're talking about just getting started with something like this. Is there anything already in place similar to this, or you? Well, even nobody's doing this idea.
Well, even if there was, why do we have a car mechanic on every corner? Okay.
Or a stinking Starbucks.
Exactly. I mean, bottom line up front is, as a candidate, I'm serving my people now, regardless of whether I'm in Congress or not. I'm doing it now. I'm helping the people of my community now. And by doing this, we're going to help parents exit their kids, even if it's just for a year. Now, think about it this way. One of the reasons why school boards are so adamant about doing what they're doing with all these mandates and whatnot is because they're still getting paid. If the attendance goes down, they're still getting paid because of the CARES Act. Okay?
Are you serious?
They're still getting the money. Because usually, if we weren't, there was a lot of districts that would have gone insolvent if it wasn't for COVID. Why do you think they're extending out this emergency period for so long?
Until March 2022.
Right. And so they're getting money through the CARES Act, whether the kids are in school or not. But if they start exiting the kids out of school and start homeschooling them, they're going to be way better off.
This is Rudy Recile. I am so sorry I wasn't watching the time. I got to get to Bill O'Reilly right now. So how do we find you again? Where do we find you?
You find me at Rudy4FORUSCongress.com, and you can donate there. I need the money.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
These Target luxury stores in California.
I'm so sorry, but I looked up the clock. Dang, nabbit, I'm missing.
Thanks,
Bill
guys.
O'Reilly. See you later. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Thank you for tuning in. Rudy Recile, Rudy4USCongress.com, and that's the word for it. Rudy4USCongress.com. Yeah. Or you want to find him on Facebook. Same thing, huh?
Yeah,
Rudy
exactly.
for Congress?
Yeah, Rudy for Congress. Yep.
Yeah, it'll pop right up. And
you'll find me. I'm the only one that's there, so you'll find me one way or the other.
So seriously, thank you for watching. Share this. Let people know. This whole thing about this HSLDA is fantastic. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, and they take care of all the legal things.
Yeah. It's huge.
Yeah, public school exit. They'll just give you the information, but these guys will take care of you. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So thanks, guys. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, and I hope you all are doing well. Okay,
we're making inroads.
We'll make it happen. Thanks.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.